So the words in the PNP camp, not that I'm expecting better from them still, is that Mark Golding is way better than Mr. Holness. Mr. Holness, because Mr. Holness cannot walk in his shoes and all of those stuff. First to begin with, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Holness is not a person who plays dirty politics. You hear all those things they have levied against him. How many of them you see him respond to? When they try to insult him and say all manner of evil against him, what did he do? He keep quiet. And you know what is defeating the People's National Party? Is because they are going around campaigning on lies and propaganda, while Mr. Holness is going around campaigning on achievement. And ladies and gentlemen, if I should put the two of them together, I would say, ladies and gentlemen, that Mr. Holness is more credible than Mark Golding, because Mark Golding, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't have anything at all good to offer the Jamaican citizens more than taxes. We heard him on his political platform planning to tax food items like sardines and all of these stuff. And by the way, sardine is already taxed, because when you go to the supermarket to buy sardine, sardine is very expensive, ladies and gentlemen. So in my opinion, sardine is already taxed, and you're going to want to put taxes on them again. You want to put more taxes on us. You hear what he's saying? More taxes. And according to him, he's going to use the taxes to support farmers. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd rather stick with the government who have offered 9 years, ladies and gentlemen, of no new taxes, yet the economy grew. Yet the economy grew in such a way that we were given back the dividends, ladies and gentlemen, as a result of the good management of the economy. We got our tax reversed, and during the COVID pandemic, lots of persons got their $10,000. Even persons who have never worked before got their $10,000. And ladies and gentlemen, I rather a government come every time budget read. They handed out goodies to the Jamaican people, rather than a PNP-led government that is offering taxes every time when the budget read under the PNP administration. You're wondering now what next is to be taxed. Then they are saying that transparency, ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister is not transparent. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. When the Prime Minister's statutory declaration is not certified by the IC, the Integrity Commission, ladies and gentlemen, it has nothing to do with the Prime Minister not being transparent. It has everything to do with the Integrities Commission committing a treason against the Prime Minister by refusing to certify his statutory deduction, so that the People's National Party can have something to use against him on the election campaign, seeing that it is the election year. Because the international audit in Trinidad, of all the places, you know, Trinidad, ladies and gentlemen, found nothing criminal, nothing to merit a criminal conviction on the Prime Minister. And all those 28 bank accounts that you hear them talking about, ladies and gentlemen, turned out to be false. So personally, I do believe that Mr. Panton and Mr. Golding that is going out there spreading lies and propaganda about the Prime Minister and how many accounts that he have which turn out to be false. They are to be sued for high treason, because what they have said, ladies and gentlemen, could have cost the Prime Minister his political career. And the Prime Minister kept silent, ladies and gentlemen, because sometimes the best way to deal with enemies is silence. The best way to deal with naysayers is silence. And what they are used to, ladies and gentlemen, is dirty politics. So they say, they keep campaigning every day saying time come for dirty politics. But because the Prime Prime Minister is not dancing to their music, they are saying that Mark Golding is way better than Mr. Holness. Mr. Holness come from the get-go, ladies and gentlemen, and he went and he uplift them and he uplift himself until he get his doctorate degree in politics. Now, ladies and gentlemen, he is showing everybody, even from the ghetto, that not because you come out of the ghetto, not because you live in the slum, doesn't mean that you can't come to be somebody good, doesn't mean that you can't rich, doesn't mean that you can't live big life. And ladies and gentlemen, I hear them asking where the Jamaica Labour Party get all those monies to print those books. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Have you ever heard about donors? Though there are persons who donated to the ruling political parties, whether it be the Jamaica Labour Party or the People's National Party, they have donors, and not $1 of those money that they use to print books were taxpayers' money. What they are forgetting is that people have businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not like the People's National Party who used to, keep people in poverty, that you don't have a lot of people in business. Under the Jamaica Labour Party government, lots of people have business. Even I myself have a business. Because I hear somebody trying to insult me simply because I am talking good about the Prime Minister and they don't agree with what I am saying. They have the audacity to be saying that white squall is at my mouth corner. Imagine a person like me who always have money. White squall is at my mouth corner, and that I must get a job. I must get a job because I look hungry. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, I do have a job that is paying me well. And secondly, ladies and gentlemen, I have a business. So I can never ever be hungry. As a matter of fact, I saw someone this morning asking me how comes I'm getting so big, because they know me as this person that used to be slim and trim. Even my jawbone, ladies and gentlemen, where you could see the bones in my face because my jawbone was flat. Now look at my jawbone. Does it look flat? Don't it look fat and plummy? All because of the good policy of the Jamaica Labour Party's government, ladies and gentlemen, that caused us to be earning a little more than what we normally would have earned under the People's National Party's government. Because what they did, ladies and gentlemen, was keep our minimum wage at a very low, very low. And what happened is that the cost of living keep getting high, inflations keep getting high, and they would never ever increase the minimum wage to match the inflation. What the Jamaica Labour Party has done is increase the minimum wage 3 times to match the inflation. So what am I saying, ladies and gentlemen? How is Mark Golding, who presided over many businesses, many people losing their business, be better off than Prime Minister Andrew Holness? And they are talking as if Mr. Holness lacks integrity. And if they say he lacks integrity, how does he lack in integrity? In what way is he lacking in integrity, ladies and gentlemen? What criminal offenses have he committed? When persons are bent on destroying you, ladies and gentlemen, when persons feed themselves with hatred, ladies and gentlemen, they will look for fault where there is none. And they are accusing the Prime Minister of some things that I wonder where they got those things from, because there are absolutely no proof for their accusation, ladies and gentlemen. They are angry with the Prime Minister because the Prime Minister is teaching poor people how to come out of poverty. He's teaching people how to be rich. He's teaching people how to invest and get back profit on their investment. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't keep money in the bank because all it does is just sits there doing nothing. And when they borrow your money, ladies and gentlemen, and build houses, they charge a lot of money for those houses that they use your money to build. When they put back your money, they barely put anything on your money. When you take your money and invest it in assets, ladies and gentlemen, you earn more interest than when you just have it sitting in the bank. So Mr. Holness, teach us how to make money work for us. We don't learn those things under the PNP administration. Ladies and gentlemen, don't be biased.